Bug! What's up everybody? Tbaggusmaximus here with another Cities Skylines video. Today, how to build a realistic looking city skyline in the game. I'm going to share with you the 3 simple steps needed to recreate great skylines in the game with ease, whether you're playing completely vanilla, you're playing on console, or you're playing with a NASA supercomputer jam-packed with mods and assets. And guys, today's video is specifically on the skyline itself. I'm planning on doing a future video on how to design a realistic city, so stay tuned. The best way to not miss that video is to sub to this channel. Let's get started. The first tip on creating an amazing city skyline is by understanding how cities develop in real life. You'll find that the tallest buildings in a city are oftentimes owned by large corporations, banks, and offices. They generate millions and billions of dollars in order to even display such towering magnificence. And you'll usually find that all of these buildings are concentrated into some sort of central business district or self-claimed Silicon Valley. So while it seems counterintuitive, if you're focusing on purely a beautiful skyline, you'll need to start your city by placing your tallest buildings first and then expanding out from there. I'll usually place them near the center of a city or in an area I deem to be the downtown, say for instance near a river or a large body of water. And you don't just place 1 or 2 skyscrapers. For the maximum effect, there has to be an obvious concentration of wealth and power in one area. The second tip on creating an amazing city skyline is by understanding the proper zoning and how to get these large buildings up in the first place. When you look at a real city, you'll notice some sort of stepwise approach. Think about it. Air zoning's a real thing. If you have the perfect view from your luxury apartment, you're going to be pissed when someone builds a larger building right next to you and blocks all of that out. In your city, your tall buildings can be near to one another, but each building also wants to get some sort of slice of the skyline. So from the super duper tall buildings, I began fanning out towards more medium density buildings, and finally towards suburbs and low density, more larger footprint buildings. The building height is almost like walking down a staircase. For each block or 2 that you fan away from the business district, there should be some sort of reduction in building height. And here's a diagram that I made to discuss what would be classified as high, medium, or low density buildings in the game. As you can see, the tallest buildings are level 4 and 5 residential as long as you're not on a European map. Otherwise, those are more like medium density buildings. The IT cluster classification of offices, the tourism specialization that builds larger hotel skyscrapers, certain monuments, and lots of STEAM workshop assets. Your medium density buildings consist of high density residential buildings, but you use the high-rise band city policy. Alternatively, you can mark the buildings as historical, and the model will stay at the smaller level despite the building still leveling up properly. Regular office buildings, regular high density commercial, regular industry tend to be medium density. If you get the modern city center DLC, there's a lot of medium density buildings in there. A lot of the stadiums, monuments, and factories from the industry DLC are about medium density in height. Some of the default service buildings could be considered medium or higher density, like this large hospital, and some of the campus buildings are medium density. Lastly, our low density buildings include the light green residential, low density commercial, farmlands, and the remaining smaller service buildings. For the best effect, you'll want sprawling suburbs, small towns, and industrial areas to really sell the real city feel. If you play vanilla, here's a schematic I drew on how you need to zone to achieve this effect. Just pause the video to get a better look. Tip number 3 for creating beautiful city skyline is to make sure that you look at your city from several different angles, guys. I know my ADHD is on full display when I play this game because I cannot keep my game camera in one fixed location for any period of time. I constantly am rotating the camera, zooming in and out, and just overall trying to figure out how something looks from all points of view. The reason behind this is that by looking at your city from multiple angles, you'll discover any large gaps in the skyline that you may want to build into. You'll figure out what parts of your city need a bit more work and which ones are well developed. By zooming in and out, you can appreciate the smaller details and see how they translate as you pan out to get more distant shots. That's all for this one, guys. With these 3 tips, I'm sure you're now armed to start crafting some unique skylines. And don't be afraid to use real-life cities for inspiration on your next project. Shout out to all 38 of you sexy subscribers down there in Sexy Subscriber Club. T-Bag. If you liked this video, feel free to hit that like button and consider subscribing to my channel. We're releasing even more City Skylines content in the future. Bye bye.